Hey, chiropractors, welcome to Modern Chiropractic Mastery with your host, Dr. Kevin Christie, where we discuss the latest in marketing, business, and professional growth with some of the leading experts in the industry. Welcome to another episode of Modern Chiropractic Mastery. In this episode, we play the recording of our latest, episode 7 of the Student Business Show. If you're not a student, you still will learn a lot from these episodes, but it is geared towards certain things that I feel like, students aren't learning. And frankly, if the students aren't learning, if you're somewhat in the early phase of your DC career, there's a chance that you didn't either. And so we do this show once a month. We put it on YouTube. You can check out the actual videos on YouTube at Modern Chiropractic Mastery, and you can check out the Student Business Shows. This is episode 7. We have a segment with Dr. Mark King on the clinical side, and then I answer some questions on the business and marketing and communications and career development side of it. And so we put this occasionally as a podcast episode, not too often, but we do every so often, and that is what we will be doing today. If you are a student and you're looking to potentially keep on learning more about business, email me, kevin@modern-jockey.com, and I want to send you something, a little gift from me. So email me, kevin@modern-jockey.com. Would love to help you continue to learn the business side, right? Early on, if you can't learn it soon enough, I will be hosting another free student workshop here in Boca Raton where our headquarters is, and that'll be in November. So keep a lookout on that. I'll send you that info if you email me, kevin@modern-jockey.com. All right. Without further ado, this is a Student Business Show, episode 7.
Welcome to the MCM Student Business Show, hosted by Dr. Kevin Christie and Dr. Gage Winkles, with a special clinical segment by Dr. Mark King, the show for chiropractic students and recent graduates, designed to help you become a thriving chiropractor.
All right, let's get to our first question from the Student Business Show. I'm going to read that to you. I got this submitted. This will be on the marketing side, and we'll do a little screen share. A little different format today on our Student Business Show, but we're going to do some screen shares, so I wanted to do it this way. The first one here is, I am joining a busy practice. What is one way you would recommend I contribute to the marketing? And so let me go into a screen share. We have a tool called the referral directory that I really think is great. Just imagine we got a busy practice that we're joining, and the other, say the owner doctor or the other doctors are just really busy, and they're in that season of their life where they're busy with patients, busy with running the business, busy with family. One of the things I would recommend is you come in with the leadership mentality and how you can help. And we put together something here for a referral directory, whether it's this circumstance where you're joining a busy practice or it's your own practice. I love this tool. Helps you just think about leveraging some of the contacts you have in your patient, right? So if the other doctors or yourself have a patient come in and you're doing your history consultation, and there's a trainer or a massage therapist or a doctor or a golf pro, anybody that they're working with on their health and performance that you could communicate with on what they're dealing with, is going to be really good care. But then it's also going to be you being able to connect with other people. So for example, you got the golfer coming in, has some shoulder issues, working with a golf pro, wants to be playing golf. You could say, hey, John, do you mind if I reach out to your golf pro, let them know what I found, maybe some things that we can work on, but not the full swing right now. And I'd love to communicate that with him. And he's going to love that level of care. It's going to be a really unique thing that a doctor would do for their patient. And I think it's really a great experience for that patient. And it's going to help you clinically. It's going to help them get better. So that way you're not like working on them and they're going back to their golf pro and they're messing it up. And so that patient says yes. You tell the front desk, hey, you make sure to get John's golf pro when he checks out. You get the information. within a day or two, you call that golf pro, have a conversation around your patient and what's going on there. And then at the end of that, you say, I love working with like-minded people in the performance and health world here. Is there any time I could stop by and introduce myself? Right. So then you get that meeting set with that golf pro. You go and have a conversation with that golf pro, learn about what some of their philosophies of teaching the swing is, and you have normal dialogue around that and what you do and how you treat golf injuries and assess golf injuries. And again, I'm using golf as an example, but you could apply this to all kinds of other things: tennis pro, pickleball, running coach, you name it, right? A lot of ones, a lot out there, definitely doctors, personal trainers, things like that. And so now you met with that golf pro and you have a contact, and you've now done two things. You've had a really good level of care for that patient and a lot of communication around that injury and what they want to do with golf. And you've met a golf pro. And if you cultivate that relationship really well, that can be very, very fruitful for you. Chiropractors, if your website traffic or Google Maps visibility has felt a little unpredictable lately, you're not imagining it. A lot is changing behind the scenes. AI is reshaping how search results show up. Competition in the map pack is getting tougher, and simply ranking well does not always translate into new patients. That's why Propel Marketing and Design is hosting a free chiropractic SEO workshop. You'll learn what's actually changing with Google Maps, how AI is impacting the way patients find and choose clinics, and what small, realistic updates you can make this year to stay visible and competitive. This is not a high-level talk or a bunch of jargon. It's a practical step-by-step workshop built for busy clinic owners who want clear direction and next steps they can actually implement. Save your spot for free at propelyourcompany.com/MCM-SEO-workshop-2026. And we'll see you there. Our next question is going to be from Dr. Mark King. Okay, we got a clinical question that was asked. Let me read that to you and we'll get your answer. What age range did you feel confident in your clinical skill set, right? Like, and kind of how you got there, but what was it about age-wise, where you were, some of the things that helped you get to that point?
Okay, so I have thought about this a lot over the years because you brought this up to me once a long time ago, and I think I have a kind of a weird answer.
Mhm.
So when I graduated, I was around 27, 28 years old, and I was very confident at that point coming out of school because I hadn't gotten my brains beat in by not every single patient got better when I started, and um, as I went along there for a while, they weren't getting, not everyone got better like I thought they would. Coming out of school, they kind of taught you that everyone improved and everyone got better, and they don't. So then your confidence wanes a little bit. And then, so that was age, say 27, 28 in that range. And then probably, I'm guessing, and may have given different answers in the past, but I'm guessing around age 40, I really started getting my footing on feeling more and more confident about what I was doing. A lot of what you learn at the beginning is just managing a case.
Mhm.
You may be a very good diagnostician. I thought I was. Wasn't all. It turns out I wasn't always so perfect. But one of the big things I learned was how to manage a case and how to put people on a care plan so that they would actually get better and they would refer other people and help build my practice because they got helped instead of treating them once or twice or three times and they don't get better and then they don't refer and then they don't ever come back. So then as I got older, I got more and more confident. I feel like I'm at my greatest skill set now. I read an interesting book, actually. I believe I got this recommendation from you, Dr. Christie. Was Arthur Brooks wrote the book From Strength to Strength.
Mhm.
He talks about different kind of intelligence, and I'm obviously at the crystallized intelligence stage. When you're 25 or 35, you're in the fluid intelligence stage. So I have a lot of um, battle scars, if you will, in my background where I've seen a lot of these cases. So I've seen a lot of X, Y, and Z, and so I can build on that, and I know what to expect. So that's really helped me be more confident with what I do. And so when I go into a case with a patient, I tell them what I really think, as everyone should, and I feel confident I'm going to be able to help them, or I know where to refer them, generally speaking, and get them help otherwise.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that question because I feel like a lot of chiropractors feel like may never get better, or like you said, they have that dip where early on they had that false confidence, and then it's like, oh wow, maybe I'm not as good as I am, and then they can't see the forest through the trees. So it's good to hear from someone that's been through that. It's like, yeah, you'll regain that confidence. It doesn't happen overnight, and it takes a lot of experience.
Yes. So I was working full time, obviously, and working hard, building a big practice. I took lots of classes. I read lots of books. I had some great mentors, and I just kept learning, kept learning, kept learning. And then I would try to apply what I learned, see how it went, and build on it from there.
Perfect. And when is a next MPI seminar where a chiropractor could continue to improve clinically? 'Cause that's a big part of it as well. Is you got to keep improving clinically. So what does MPI have coming up?
Well, first of June, first weekend in June, we have the MPI disc class, and then toward the end of June, I'll be in St. Louis doing an upper integration class, and then we slow down a little bit in July and August. We have a few classes, and then we pick it back up again in the fall. And then our motionpalpation.org website has lots of information on there. And one other thing I wanted to add about this learning
Yep.
is you really have to be able to, you kind of have to enjoy the grind. And I do. I like trying to help people. I like trying to figure these things out. And it really helps if you just enjoy the grind and you're okay with, how that's going to go day to day. I always had this mission that I wanted to change the way the United States looked at healthcare and disease care. And obviously, I have not succeeded yet, but I keep trying, and it gives me a mission and a North Star to keep trying to improve on that.
You're like the when I was kid watching dog races in South Florida, they would chase the rabbit. You're
Yes,
chasing that rabbit.
yes, I'm still chasing the rabbit.
Keep chasing, brother. Well, thanks for your time and your wisdom and your crystallized intelligence today.
Thank you, doctor. Take care.
Let's take a short break from today's episode to tell you about the best decision I've made in my clinic in the last 10 years, and that has been adding shockwave therapy to our clinic. The outcomes have been really impressive. Certain conditions we were struggling with in the past, we're now seeing results with the shockwave therapy for that. And second of all, the ROI has been really good. When you make a big investment in something, you want to see a return, and we're seeing that return in clinical outcomes and in our investment, and that's been really nice to see. I chose Keenest Medical for 4 reasons. One is the technology is top notch. You have to have great technology. There's a lot out there that isn't quite up to snuff. The second thing is they have a really good clinical training. They have an exclusive partnership with Academy of Shockwave Excellence so that you can become clinically proficient in shockwave. You do need to get skilled at it. I think that's a big differentiator between practices that are getting great results and seeing the ROI is they have a great clinical aspect to that as well. So you want to get trained appropriately. Third is they have in-house service team for all of your technical support, which is key when you're investing in a machine like this. And then lastly, they have a very in-depth marketing and business support for you so that you can launch this into your practice effectively, that you can get that ROI on it, that you can get the clinical outcomes. And they also have really good financing options if you need that. So go to kinasmedical.com, KINAS medical.com, mention MCM podcast and receive a free shockwave in practice book with a purchase of a unit. So that's kinasmedical.com, KINAS medical.com, and mention MCM podcast. All right, now moving on to our third question. This is going to be around communication. So let me read the question I got here. Is actually this one wasn't a question. This was a topic that I was actually going over with a couple associate doctors recently, and it's the patient communication triangle, and essentially um, how to make sure we have optimal patient adherence. One of the biggest struggles of young DCs is having the confidence around the patient and really having conviction around that. So I want to share 2 things that I went over. All right. I wrote about this in my book, Doing It Right, Modern Chiropractic Marketing. And I had a coach some years back who had shared this concept with me here. And it was just simply, what type of chiropractor are you? Okay. Because it's all going to come around communication. We're going to talk about this and then the communication triangle, but I really want to focus on the doctor, you, first. And so In this upper left quadrant, we have bold and uncertain. This is disorganized, loud, uncertain, bad experience, loss of trust. It's kind of a bull in a china shop, right? We don't want to be there. Then down in the bottom left, we have timid and uncertain. So this is timid, uncertain, stuck, no trust develops, ineffective, doctor scared of own treatment plan, and it's a bad patient experience. We get a lot of young DCs are in this timid and uncertain. Now, there's obviously realities to that, but let's break that down in a minute. Then the bottom right, we have knowledgeable and timid. I would say a lot of young DCs do this. A lot of you are very knowledgeable, but you're timid, and that leads to a timid, but you're smart and skilled. You're just unsure of your influence. It's a second-rate experience, reluctant to lead that patient in your team, and patient will stop coming in when no longer getting the results. They're not going to trust the process if they feel like you're timid about what their the reality of them getting better is. Right? And then ideally, we want to be bold and knowledgeable. We want to be bold, smart. We want to have an organized agenda, clarity of path. It's going to be a first-rate experience, and the doctor provides leadership. I feel like if I were to sum up bold and knowledgeable in one word, it would be conviction. You're going to have conviction around what you're recommending the patient. And I highly recommend you working towards that. The more you do get better clinically, the more experience you get, the more you learn, the more you practice your communication, the more you have confidence in speaking to someone and looking them in the eye and all that. You will become more bold and knowledgeable. And so you'll continue to work towards that. The other part of this, what we have is the patient adherence triangle is that now we just talked about the doctor needs to communicate really good with the patient, right? So that was what we just went over. And you need to be bold and knowledgeable, and you really need to communicate with the patient well. Okay. I want to tell you about something my clinic has recently integrated because I think it's relevant to much of what we talk about on this show. If you're maxed out and can't take new patients, or patients are getting better and just leaving, you don't have a clinical problem, you have a systems problem. That's what P2P Pathway solves for you. It's a model that takes your patients from rehab into ongoing strength and performance programming inside your existing practice using Tonal's AI-driven equipment. No trainer required, no separate gym build out. The result is recurring monthly revenue that doesn't depend on how many patients you can personally see in a day. They run live seminars where they walk you through the entire system, hands-on, in person. Attendees also get exclusive discounts on equipment, including Tonal, that you can't get anywhere else. Seats are limited. The link is in the show notes. If you're serious about adding a recurring revenue stream to your practice, this is worth your 2 days. So check out www.p2ppathway.com. The second thing you need to do is you need to make sure you communicate to the front desk what the treatment and duration is for that patient. It's up to you to make sure that front desk is an advocate for what you're recommending, right? Too many times a doctor says something to the patient, front desk doesn't know, patient goes and checks out, and there's a miscommunication there, and the patient can either sense it or they're just it's just a bad experience, and then the patients do fall off there or don't get the recommended care on there that they need. So you need to make sure you communicate to the front desk well, and then you and the team in general needs to make sure the front desk communicates to the patient really well on what the treatment expectations are. So with the communication side of things, make sure you're communicating well with the patient, make sure you're communicating well with the front desk, and make sure the front desk is communicating really well with the patient. And that will improve the patient experience and ultimately the patient adherence and ultimately better patient outcomes. Okay. All right. Last question we've got is career development. I am going to search for a clinic to work for. What should I be considering from the clinical aspect of joining a practice? So I want to just talk on this for a minute. Historically, if, MCM and us, we follow more of the evidence-informed crowd of chiropractic. We know there's another kind of side of the profession, maybe vitalistic or philosophical, however you want to label it. That would be like something a lot of people know is like if you're more on the evidence-informed, you probably don't want to work for a philosophical clinic or vice versa, right? If you're more on the philosophy side, you probably don't want to work for an evidence-based or evidence-informed clinic. And that's kind of almost obvious at this point, but it still happens. People get desperate for jobs. And that's a big issue is you got to make sure that your clinical philosophy or your clinical um, desires are congruent with that practice. And I would say the other thing that I'm seeing more and more of within the evidence informed crowd is we've got clinics that are mismatches even within the evidence informed. And what's happening is I'm seeing some clinics might be very rehab heavy and not as much focus on the hands-on stuff. And they hire a hands-on chiropractor who doesn't really know much or care much to do with the rehab, or vice versa, right? I see, because a lot of times what the practices that are hiring younger DCs are a lot of times chiropractors that are already in their 40s and 50s, like I am, and our clinics tend to be more hands-on, right? Like palpation adjustment, say soft tissue with some rehab. And I see sometimes clinics like ours or doctors like us might end up hiring someone that's very rehab focused, like all through school, or previous. They just really rehab heavy, but not necessarily as skilled or desiring the skill of palpation and adjusting or soft tissue work. And so there's a mismatch when a hands-on heavy clinic hires a rehab heavy associate and vice versa. So make sure the congruency is there. Otherwise, it gets very tricky for all parties involved and can be very frustrating. So that's our show for today. Hope that's helpful. And submit your questions, kevin@moderndeskjockey.com. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you want to make the shift from busy, broke, and broken to time-free and cash confident, or you just want to continue with the exponential growth, check us out at modernchiropracticmarketing.com. Look at the MCM Mastery tab, watch the short video on there, and check out what we are doing now for evidence-informed chiropractors. We are equal parts coaching and marketing done for you. Yes, you shoot some videos, we help you with campaign strategies and ideas and really become a thought leader in your community. You shoot those videos, you send them to us, we produce, edit, and brand them to you. Then we distribute them through all of your channels. We also take them and we turn it into one good blog per month. And every other month, we have Darcy Sullivan producing a robust blog with a topic that you pick from her database to help with your SEO. So we essentially become your content marketing agency to make sure your practice is always having ethical, elegant content marketing to help grow your practice. On the coaching side, we also help you with everything from marketing ideas to business, communications, finances, anything practice growth, and really try to help prevent you from being stuck on that island. And we hold you accountable. We have a great group of doctors that are just doing amazing things. And we look forward to help you out to take that next step in your practice. So again, check us out at modernchiropracticmarketing.com and learn more.